Hi, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. I am. It's beautiful in Atlanta. Just gorgeous. Um, Yesterday, I shared with you. Oh, let me check that. No, we're good. We're good. Yesterday, I shared with you the part one of a training, a mini course, a micro course, talking about how to create your next business card, maybe your first one. Today, we're going to continue that is part two. Today, we're going to talk about the six main elements to include on your business card. Hi, I'm Patricia Durgan, the Christian Message Coach, and this is Marketers on a Mission, the live show for every Christian with an idea for a book, a ministry, an online course, or a business. We show you not only the various tools to use, but also the strategies and the secrets behind those tools. So you can be a successful marketer on a mission for Christ. So have you created, is it time now to create a new or an updated, your first or an updated business card? I'm going to show you one today that I've created about a year ago. I've had many, like you have probably, many through the years. I'm going to show you my latest one. I showed it a couple of days ago. Right now we want to talk about, excuse me, the difference in fonts. We want to look at some font mistakes, a font resource. You know, I love to show you resources. Then we're going to talk about some design mistakes and a design resource. So it's going to be a good episode. I'm glad you're here. We're looking currently at my current business card. There's a thin black outline around my card you can see. Just ignore that. That's just to give you a visual of what the edges would look like. There are the minimum items to include on your business card. An image or your photo. My preference is always my photo, and let's talk about that for just a second as to why that would be. Images are beautiful. I mean, again, I'm visually oriented, even though I'm visually impaired. So I really enjoy having a beautiful item, whatever it is, in whatever format, a brochure, a banner, a website. I don't care. Let's just have it beautiful. Let's make it beautiful. But there are other instances, and for me, a business card is one of those instances where it's vital that my photograph is on that piece of marketing, something, in this case, a business card. I see people at conferences, and so do you. I hope that you go to conferences. We see people who don't know us. By default, we need to have something that they will remember us by. Now, the challenge is you get home from a conference, for example, maybe something else, another event, but whether it's local, regional, or national, and you have lots of business cards that people have given you, right? And that some of them are beautiful, some of them are obviously homemade, none of which makes any difference, but some of them have a photograph, and some of them don't. How many of the business cards that you have gotten at an environment that you didn't know everybody, how many of those cards that didn't have a photograph do you remember a week, a month, a year, 2 years, and you picture that person's image in your mind, the person that you spoke to? Can you, in your memory, recover an image of the person that you were speaking to who gave you that card? I'm not able to do that. I'm not able to do that. So it's a big help. I mean, it's a critical help. For me, as a person who goes and meets other people, if you give me your business card and it has your picture on it, that's going to be an instant trigger in a year or two when I want to find you or find someone. I'm trying to remember your name or your contact information or what it is you do, or for any number of reasons I want to get in touch with you. I'll be able to remember, oh yes, that's the lady. I remember talking to her. And that only happened because the photograph was on your business card. That's why I put it on my business card. You'll see here the minimum items to include on your card. So we need an image or a photo. We need a business or a ministry name. And for me, that's Marketers on a Mission. A tagline that goes along with it to sort of explain what Marketers on a Mission is or does. And I offer marketing solutions for the Christian entrepreneur. And that's really tiny, really tiny. I have printed it out. It's not so small that people can't read it, but it is the smallest font size on this business card because it's critically important that the other factors, the name, the marketing promise, and the contact information are the remaining three elements. These are the minimum 6 items you need on a business card, a professional business card. And if people can't read those items, what good is the card? I like very clean design. You don't have to like that at all. But I do. I prefer that for all kinds of reasons. So for me, my entire business card is white, and it does not have this black border around it. That's only for you to see where the edges of the business card are. We talked yesterday about how to keep everything inside a smaller box. Check yesterday's training where we talked about making, when you're designing your business card, design it for a smaller 1/4 of an inch all the way around the whole circumference so that nothing runs over or gets cut off when you take it to a printer or you print it yourself and it gets cut off, and the last digit of the phone number or your ear on the other side gets cut off because it was so close to the edge that when the business cards were separated and they were cut and separated to be individual business cards instead of a sheet of business cards. So I made a boo-boo. We need to pull it in a little bit, 1/4 of an inch around. We talked about that yesterday. All right, so let's look at fonts just for a minute. Because I like everything that we're talking about these last 2 days, everything we talk about every day I love. It's my thing, it's my jam. But let's talk just for a moment about serif versus sans serif. Sans means without. So this may be old news to you, but let's run over this as it relates to business cards, okay? We need to use one of each. We need to use a serif and a sans serif on our business cards. We don't need 7. We don't even need 3 types of fonts. 2 will do if they're used judiciously. So the difference in a serif, as you can see here, this image, the serif, if you're not familiar with this description and what this means, the serif, it has additional decorative strokes. Now this is a particular kind of a title of a font, but regardless, it's not the title of the font that makes the difference. It's the fact that if it has an additional stroke that makes it a little bit more decorative, has a little bit of a swoop to it, then this is a serif. This is a serif font. These are used, I'm going to show you some examples in a bit. These are used to draw attention, right? They're typically used, and the color is attached to them, so that they do the job of drawing attention. They are for headlines and for business names and ministry titles, things like that. Then the Arial, which is a very common font, which does not devalue it at all. It's just a common font. It's sans serif. It does not have those extra swoops. Okay? Now, let's look at some font mistakes. These mistakes above are hard to read. Bank of America, we all know what their logo looks like. It's very, very solid. Visually, you just feel the power and the infrastructure and the solidity of Bank of America when you see their logo, right? They've chosen appropriately the font that they have on there for their logo. But let's take that same logo that we're so familiar with and think, these are hard to read, and these don't match the style of a solid financial institution, do they? Visually, even though it's the same name and pretty close to the same color, it takes you to a different place. I don't feel confident looking at this example. That just doesn't make me feel like that's a solid financial institution. Whereas above here, there's nothing technically wrong with these, but look at Bank of America where it's all in caps. Try to avoid that. Writing that is all in caps is difficult to discern, particularly from a distance. So it's not that it's wrong, but you can do better if you mix and you have smaller fonts, lower and uppercase. Now, here's a font resource. Okay, you ready? So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the resource. I'm going to show you how it works. It is called My Fonts. It's called My Fonts. This is an online business that you can purchase fonts from. So here, let's see if you've never done this or contemplated this, you've never seen this website. How would you go about doing that? how would you know what if you would like it once you downloaded it? So you find one that you like, lots and lots of filters. You can dig around in here. This is not the only place online you can purchase fonts. This is the business that I use. How would you know if you were going to like it? Just by an example. Well, here's the beauty of this particular website. You can choose, and in here you can see that I've typed in. This is a box I can type in, and I did, Marketers on a Mission, the name of my business. Look at the various. This is the font. Here's the font. Here's the maker of the font. It's a bestseller. And this is what this font looks like in several different environments. This obviously is the heavier font, the higher weight. This is the thinner, and this is the thinnest over here. So they're giving you not only the name, the pertinent details, but they're showing you what it could look like in this environment or in that environment so that you can get a feel for it. But also what I love so much about my fonts is this is the actual word, what I typed in, the actual name of my business. Now, this visually, Natura, this is too frou-frou for me. But I wouldn't know that perhaps if I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I got distracted when I came and looked at the fonts. And I love the way it looked over here on this door called Charlotte, the business delicatessen called Charlotte. That's really beautiful, I think. But is it going to suit me, my style, what I'm trying to convey about my business or ministry to a complete stranger? Because after all, this is who we're trying to compel with our business cards. People who already know us and love us, they're already in our life, they know how to get in touch with us, and it's good for them to have a business card. So, no harm, no foul there. But what about those people that we're only going to meet one time? Or maybe we won't even meet them. They'll just go to our website. What message does this font, my business name in this font, send to you? It's not what I want to represent me. And look at this, is quite different. Quite different. This is not heavy enough for me. These letters are not thick enough for me, for my taste. Now, I could go on here and really spend hours and hours. I could just waste a lot of time. Here's another example that's super important. Look how hideous this is. You may love it, and if you do, I apologize. I think it's hideous. Marketers on a Mission. You can't even read it. This is a critically important point we're going to come back to in just a moment. But if people can't read anything on your business card or any part of your business card, the content, let's rethink that, shall we? Let's rethink that. Let me see if anyone has any questions or comments. Hey, Robbie, it's so good to see you. I'm glad you were here today. So let's go back. Robbie, you're going to love this, my fonts. We can go down the page and see how Marketers on a Mission. It just sends a visual message, doesn't it? To me, that's trendy. It's not me. Not because it's not trendy, not because I'm not trendy, but it's visually, that font does not do it for me in all different kinds. It's too bold. It's too heavy. It doesn't have enough delineation in the letters themselves. And look at this. I typed in Marketers on a Mission with both upper and lower case, but this is showing me in all caps. I didn't ask it to do that. That means that this is only available in uppercase. So I don't want to buy that unless I want to use it only in uppercase. I think that would be limiting us if we do that, if we buy something that's only available in the uppercase, because there are going to be multiple opportunities for you to hand out or put on, share online, all kinds of information about your business, and you're going to want it to look slightly different in this version or that version. I don't mean the graphics of it or the color of it, but this is so overpowering that it would be hard to put this in a regular typical letter or email, for example, and just have it not as the tagline, the signature line. That wouldn't be hard. But what about just in the text? It's just too much. It's just too much for me. And here's one that's much more basic. This is a serif. It has this swirl, and yet it's got doesn't have the edges that I like. Okay, so you can dig around in here and see for yourself what you like. And then you purchase it. They have sales all the time. They've got special offers up here. They'll tell you what the best sellers are, all kinds of different content and information, and it's way too much for me to cover. I've already covered quite a bit and really scratched the surface. So see if you like that. Now let's go back to our keynote. Sometimes I can't find it very easily. Okay, now let's look at some design mistakes. This, I'm sort of embarrassed for this person. I'm so embarrassed for him that even though this is, no, I don't even know this person. I randomly got this offline. I had to cover up his last name because it was just so sad. I couldn't be a part of putting his whole name out there. This is, if you love this, I say go for it. If you don't, let's dig in and find out what the various things are that we might not like and we might do differently on our own business card. I mentioned before that I like clean. I like a clean look, a clean design. That means a lot of white space. I like clarity. I like to be able to, my photo to pop and my business name to pop off the page. This person has created this business card. There's an underlying element. If you can see the sun strokes underneath the bottom. He's got everything you could possibly want to know about him. So much so that even this text, this copy right here, comes down and slaps over, spreads over his photo. And this copy, look at this. See our website for the hottest deals on every what? This has got too much text, not just for my taste, definitely for mine, but even for more traditional designers, graphic designers who create business cards professionally. This has got too much text. It does not have enough white space, which means empty space. You may have a red color. Still, you would want a lot of it. That would be the equivalent. That would be, if this was a red background, I would say that he didn't have enough red space. That would be an empty space. And too many colors. The colors, a lot of times people will pull colors and use them to draw attention to this piece of information or that piece of information. And actually what happens is people look at our business cards and other graphics as a whole unit, right? Our eye falls upon it and we instantly can pick out, but just by default, we can pick out the colors and the main pieces of information by what? The colors of the words, the font size, and the shape themselves of the font. Okay, this has got so much going on. I would put this card down. I would graciously accept it from him, but it wouldn't be something that I would reference because it's way too visually busy. It's like somebody shouting at me everything that they could possibly do and everything that they know, and I can't process any of it. That's what I'm hearing. If I transferred what I'm looking at visually into words, this is what I'm getting. Okay. Here's another one. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. Clean for me, my taste. It's clean. It's got beautiful font, but you can't read the word. You can't read the word. This beautiful font and this beautiful clean card is working against the person who hands it out because the person who receives it cannot read the first word. So some fonts, you'll see this note here, some fonts are not designed to be used in all caps for a business name. Now, you might want to use one of these. You may purchase a font or already have a font in your computer stash that you may pull out one for this first word, marketers on a mission. I might use something very unique, a very unique font for the M in marketers on a mission. But if I was going to do that, the other letters would need to be very basic and plain. I only want to draw attention to the decorative font. But in this case, I can't read it. So it's working against the person who hands it out. Okay, what's the single worst business card mistake? Not handing out business cards. Having them and not using them is the single biggest mistake you can make. Now, got another resource to show you. You're going to love this. This is a graphic design resource. Let's go back online for just a moment. And we want to go over here and I want to show you this I love this magazine. This is now an online magazine, and you can purchase it, hard copies of it as well. But what I love about this, I fell in love with this, I don't know, maybe 12, 13 years ago. Before they were online, I knew them and did business with them. This is a graphic design website that teaches graphic design and makes it simple and fun for everyday people. Most of us are communicators by nature. We have a message from God that we want to deliver to the God-given audience that He's gifted us with. So we don't have time to become a specialist on every single element that would make up a marketing mix for ourselves, right? But this is a great resource. You can purchase things. You can get articles. You can get whole entire issues, hard copy issues, print. Look at the free stuff. Just the free stuff. Now, what's the right typeface for text? And there you can download it immediately. Let's look. Now, this is an article that has multiple pages in it, but they're not going to show you the pages because they want you to download it. How do you download it? Well, this is the typical email, right? The email opt-in. They want to give you something valuable. They want to give it to you for free, and take my word for it, it is top-notch content. You'll be blown away by anything that they put out, anything. But they want you to pay them not with money, but with your email address. Okay, typical marketing approach. This is the way it's done. They're not yelling at us. They don't have flashing lights everywhere. There's not lobsters crawling across the screen. Do you remember those days about 15 years ago, maybe 16, where there were a lot of people would have put something animated crawling across their screen? It's like, this does not look business-like to me. That's because it's not business-like. All right, so those are the two resources. Now, I have, as I always do, I'm going to mention them at the top of include them and their links at the top of the video after this episode airs. Let's go back one more time to the keynote. There's the resources that we mentioned today. My fonts and before and after. Do you have any questions? Any comments on what we've talked about today? Let me check. Hey, Kathy. Robbie says, now can see what you were talking about. All right. Great. Oh, you can't see it? I don't know what you can't see. Ooh, did it catch up, Robbie? Thank you for telling me. This is good news, Janice. Make sure that you go back, if you want to, go back to yesterday's replay, because yesterday we were talking about the technicalities of it, and today we're talking about more about the design of it, as you can see. I'm still on my fonts. What is it, Lord? What have I done? What have I done? Thank you, Robbie. Let me see. Now, are you able to? Is this good now, Robbie? There we go. There we are. Before and after is the name of that resource. They're the graphic design. They're really trainers and teachers and speakers. And I'm telling you, their stuff is just outstanding. It's just outstanding. Now, I'm not sure I see that I'm on Facebook in my little magic box, but we're looking to make sure that we carried over to before and after. We're cascading again, so let me get off of that. If you have any other questions now or after we get off, I'll be glad to answer them if you have any comments or questions. Who do you know that's trying to market their message online? Perhaps they'd find these live trainings useful also. Please share this video with them. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about testimonials. We all need testimonials. But what if you're not yet well known? What if you have not yet done business online or off? You don't have clients. How can you gather testimonials to put onto your website and other marketing materials so that people can take that next step toward trusting you. Well, I've got a great idea for you tomorrow. I'm going to show you when you join me right here at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. And invite your friends. Until then, I'm Patricia Durkin, the Christian Message Coach, and I pray that this show helps you become a marketer on a mission for Christ. I'm going to check the comments one more time. There we go. There we go. Thanks so much for being here with me today. See you tomorrow.